Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Two Tones here, and in today's video, guys, we're going to do a widely requested video for you guys. Every time I do a stream, somebody's like, hey, how do you make your thumbnails? How do you make your art that you use for your thumbnails? All that kind of stuff. And in today's video, guys, we are going to, just basically, I'm going to show you guys how I make my thumbnails. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I, pick a backdrop for my thumbnails. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I pick, like, a character for my thumbnails. And I'm just going to show you everything that I do when making a thumbnail, my certain style. I'm not going to show you everything so that you guys can't copy me completely, but this is, the basics of making a thumbnail in 2018. So if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, guys, make sure that you are smashing a like and subscribing to the channel, and share this with your friends who do not quite understand how to make thumbnails. Now, basically, guys, I am in Photoshop CS6. Okay, I am in Photoshop CS6. I don't know if you can actually get Photoshop CS6 anymore. I have it from a while ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, but it is, the thing that I mainly use to make all of my channel art. So basically, what you're going to do for a YouTube thumbnails, you're going to go up here to File, you're going to go up to New, and then this little box is going to pop up. This box right here, it said you can change the title. I'm going to do it to video thumbnail, boom, there you go, and it's going to be a custom preset. And for YouTube, you are going to do 1920, and you want this set to pixels, not inches, not centimeters, not millimeters, not points, not picas, not columns. You want it to be on pixels, each one of these. So the width and height, you want to be on pixels, and resolution, you want this to be on pixels in centimeters, and you want this to always be 72. The color mode, RGB, it's not really that important. And then this should be on 32-bit with or this should be on 8-bit with a transparent background. You always want to do a transparent background so that you can, see things without anything behind them. Alright, so you're going to have this set at, again, width 1920 and height by 1080. This is going to give you a 1080p resolution for your image. So you're going to hit OK. It's going to pop you up this screen, and boom, there you go. We now have a screen that we can do whatever we want with. If we wanted to fill this up, we can just, boom, there you go, fill. But we are not going to do that, so we are going to, start off with the screen, and depending on the video that you're going to make, depending on, like, anything that you want to do, we're going to go ahead and concentrate on a Fortnite video today. So the thumbnail that I'm going to make, the thumbnail that I'm going to be making for a Fortnite video is always going to start off with a character, and I have some preset images here of this Ragnarok character. This one's got his eyes closed because I don't know how to fucking take pictures, but we're going to take one with his eyes open. Both of them have their eyes closed. How intriguing. That is unfortunate. So what we can do here is we can pull up our Elgato, right? And the Elgato has a nifty little feature where you can actually, if you can see right here with my mouse, you can see that you can take a screenshot, which is awesome. We're going to take a screenshot. I'm pretty sure I got his eyes open there, but I don't actually know. Let's check. So, are your eyes open? Boom, there we go. We have a picture where the Ragnarok has his eyes open. We're doing the Ragnarok with no armor, no nothing like that, just because a lot of people use the armored one. But basically what we're going to do, take this little square rectangle, and we're going to get rid of everything that we don't want with the square, the rectangle. Boom, we're going to get all the way up to the thing. You want to make sure that you rasterize your layer so that you can delete it without it prompting you to, rasterize the damn layer. So we're going to get rid of everything above. And there we go. We're going to get rid of this as well. Boom. And now we're going to take this magic wand, which, selects everything that is the same color, and we're going to select all of this dark blue. All this blue in general. So we can get rid of it completely. There we go. Perfect. And we got one more right there. We're going to delete all that, and boom, now we have a nice PNG character that we can do literally anything with. Oh, there's a little bit of black there, so what we're going to do is take the eraser tool and just get rid of that. Boom. There you go. Now we have this character. Awesome. Amazing. Really, really cool. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to flip it horizontally. Boom. Flip horizontally. Control. There we go. And because I usually like to have my characters and anything that I'm doing in my thumbnails looking to like looking kind of like to the left. I want them to be on the left hand side and have the right where I put my, you know, my letters or anything like that. So let me just make sure this is nice and able to be moved. There we go. We have a perfect Ragnarok. All right, so we're going to Control T, and boom, we got our badass Ragnarok character. I always like to have my things angled a bit. I don't know, it feels more human to have them angled instead of straight up and down. So there we go, we have our angled character there, ready for anything, right? So there we go, perfect. We have our subject, which is our Ragnarok character, and then we will do some letters over here. Let's see. So now we just have some nice text, you know what I'm saying? And I put make this thumbnail in Fortnite, like what? You know, just because we need some clickbait, of course. If you're making a thumbnail in 2018, it better have some clickbait. So what I like to do with these letters is if I don't make it fill the entire space, I like to center it, right? So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do Control A, which will select the entire box, right? Then you go up to this, and I just want it to be in the center, right? Center of, here. I want it to be like in the center right there. Boom. And it looks like it is. So then we're going to go ahead, and now that we have letters and we have our character here, what we're going to do now is go ahead and get ourselves a background. So I like to get my backgrounds related to the, you know, the thing that we're doing, right? So if it's a Fortnite video, I like to have a Fortnite like background, and if it is a you know, Call of Duty video or a zombies video, I'll have a zombies background. So we have this Fortnite picture right here with the, you know, the sleuth and the noir and the gumshoe. I'm not really feeling it. The face skin, I'm not really feeling it. You know, fly trap, I really like this one. This one's another really good one for colors. As you can see, it's got all these colors, and if I was to put this one in there, I would actually, yeah, let's use this one. Let's use this one. This is a very nice one here. So let me go ahead and throw that one in there, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to pull it behind all of our other layers, right? And we're going to just go ahead and add a nice little blur. If you guys want to know how to get to blur for images, right? Let's rasterize this really quickly. But you're going to go up to Filter, then you're going to go to blur, right? You can do all these other ones, but I find blur to be the best. I like to do a Gaussian blur because it blurs the whole thing without, you know, having a weird radial blur or anything like that. So I like to keep the intensity at 7. So 7 pixels worth of blur over the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? So every 7 is blurred. So there we go, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some colors to these letters. We're going to give it an outer glow, maybe an inner glow. We're also going to add some colors to the homie here so that he really pops off of the page and makes it so it looks like it's very distinctly not a part of the background. So we want a background, but we don't want our foreground to be a part of the background, right? So let's start off with this guy right here, and as you can see, I have all of these, you know, options. What I'm gonna go ahead and do straight off the bat is try and do a color overlay, and you see how he's kind of washed out up in the top of his head right here and his shoulders. So what we're going, that's because of the way I have it set up, right? I have it put on vivid light. So vivid light is a really good way of adding some very vibrancy to your subject, to whatever you're trying to do. You put some vivid light on there, and it will really make that mother trucker pop. You know what I'm saying? It just really will. We'll make it pop very vibrantly, right? As you can see, if I turn this up, it gets very white, very, very white. And if I bring it down, which is what I'm going to do to maybe like there, right? As you can see, it does make him pop a lot more. It's almost like adjusting the brightness without adjusting the brightness. It's really cool. Then I'm also going to give him a stroke, and the stroke is going to be maybe like a purple. I don't actually know. I might have to play around with this a little bit. Yellow looks like it's gonna, ooh, that actually looks really nice right there. So we're gonna give him a nice yellow stroke that's just going to make him pop off of the background. See if we turn it off. he kind of blends right back into the background. But we're going to add this stroke to keep him off of the background to make sure he's popping like he should be popping. But that's pretty much it for the character. If I give him the color overlay and it's not working at all, like even if it's at like a 1, like if we bring this to a 1 right here, it still adds just barely a little bit. And on some characters it doesn't work at all. But I like to give them like at least a 10 most of the time, 12. If they can do it with a 30, which is like my default, that's what I do my letters with is 30. If they can do it at this level and they look fine, I will leave it at 30. But most of the time I try and lower the opacity to like 10, maybe 12. I'm going to put this character at 13. And boom, we're gonna keep it there, and we might come back to him later. But now that we've done that, we're going to head and minimize his things so that you know, I can't mess with him. I mean, I could always just click him and mess with him some more, but we're just gonna leave him alone for right now. What we're going to do now is move on to make this thumbnail in Fortnite ? Exclamation point. This is our clickbait. We're going to go ahead and click it. And this is what we're going to do for the letters. I don't actually know how I'm going to set this up because I want you guys to see all of it. We'll go ahead and put it right there so you guys can see the letters. You can see all this. There's like, if you guys are wondering, there's OK, cancel, and new style. And we're just going to move it, boom, right there. So the only thing I'm hitting is OK, cancel, and new style, okay? So basically when I do letters, the first thing that I really like to look for in making good letters is good like shadow, right? I like to make it look like it's really not on the, you know, the thumbnail at all, like it's off of the picture entirely, popping out and trying to grab your attention, right? So when I have this, I would usually go for one of these, right? So it's like it's a gradient, and I already have a bunch of preset gradients if you guys want to see those really quickly. I have all these preset gradients. We have this one, we got the blue, green, yellow. I like this one, but you have to do a lot to make this one look nice. Then we have this orange one. This is a nice one as well. I do really like that one. But we got this nice blue. We got all these greens, red, these purples. We got this blue. We got this nice yellow orange, which is really cool. And then these are just the ones that come with it. Like this, I think all these come with the Photoshop CS6 already pre-installed. But I like to use from here to here down, right? So most of the time I use this one. Every once in a while I'll use this one. This one if I'm feeling, you know, like I need to really, you know, project a little bit. I don't know. But we're going to go for, you know, this video's tutorial's sake, we're going to go with this gradient. If you guys want to see the gradient, we can double click on that. We can click on this and I'll show you guys the numbers, right? So it's 81, 81, 81, and then the lightest color is FFFFFFF, right? So there you go. If you guys want to recreate this gradient in your guys' Photoshop, sorry. All right, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and confirm that this is the gradient that we want. Now, as you can see toward here in the bottom, it kind of starts to disappear a bit, right? You're like, where is my letters? Where is my letters? So this is what we do to make sure that all of this is popping right off the screen. We're going to add a stroke. Now, depending on the background of the, you know, the background that you choose, you're going to want to change the color so that it's kind of like not the same color as the background. It doesn't blend in. It separates itself from the background, right? And as you can see right here, this color is black, and right here is gray and silver, so it's like hard to see the stroke at all. But what I like to do is change this to a gradient, right? And this is why I have this gradient set up with the same two colors, right? So we have a nice, if you guys want to see the color really quickly, it's 000D89, and it's just a really nice kind of navy blue, right? And even that is a little bit, you know, you lose it a little bit down here, but we're going to go ahead and make this into like a 5 or 6. We're going to give this an outer glow and a drop shadow. Now, first things first, we're going to mess with the drop shadow, right? And I've come up with a formula for my letters to make them look really, really nice. We're also going to throw on a color overlay so that we get a nice, it's still gray toward the bottom, but it's not like super washed out, you know what I'm saying? So that's, if we take that off, you know, it just makes it nice and visible, like a silver. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw that on. We're going to go to our drop shadow. Now, I don't like messing with the size too much because then you get like a, you know, you see it's like a a cloud effect. You get this cloud instead of, you know, an actual drop shadow. So what I like to do is, first of all, I'm going to change this to the color that I normally use, which is kind of like this. I don't know what kind of color this is. If you guys have a name for this color, let me know in the comments. But if I had to pick, it's like a seafoam green. And it looks really good with that blue that I have already picked out, right? So we're going to have this green, and we're going to do the distance. And as you can see, it's already separating itself from the back of our, you know, background, right? So it's without the drop shadow, it's a part of the back, right? With the drop shadow, it's now separated itself from the back of the canvas, right? So boom, there we go. Now we have this, but as you can see, now it's kind of hard to discern what it's saying because it says make this, but then it's kind of got too much going on. That's why we have the outer glow. I like to keep the outer glow black, and I like to keep the range at 50 so that I can see, you know, so that it comes out as kind of a nice cloud. This is where we want the cloud, because as you can see, increasing that really makes the lines defined, right? So now you can really see, make this thumbnail in Fortnite, you know, boom. But it also has that nice color in the background, you know, making sure that it is separated from the screen, right? Boom, there you go. So that is how I actually do my letters, like 100%. There are a few other tricks that I'm going to keep for myself, but yeah, that's just a nice, easy, simple way to do some letters. And then at this point, after I'm done making the letters and everything like that, I would go ahead and kind of just shape them for the thumbnail, make them a little bit taller, make them a little bit wider, make it a little bit longer. And yeah, and depending on what my character is doing, sometimes he's doing an emote from Fortnite, sometimes he's you know, holding a shotgun, sometimes he's got a facial expression. I would accentuate the character a little bit more. In fact, I think I'm going to with a little bit of an outer glow, right, just to make sure he's really popping as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give him this outer glow, extend the range. On the letters, I like to keep the range low just because it's very compact, right? You have an outer glow coming out of every single letter. On this, it's kind of just one single thing. So I would like to, you know, make a nice outer glow for this character. And here's a little trick that I sometimes do to make sure that it really does look like there's light behind him, right? I will take whatever color I used for the outer glow, and I'll change the blend mode from normal to vivid light. And as you can see, it kind of made it so the colors behind him are very bright, very poppy. And if I reduce this or make this longer, as you can see, it's very bright, right? It's very, very bright. I don't know a better word for it. But let's go ahead and change this. And we can mess with the colors a little bit as well. Let's see. Going into the colors, I was thinking maybe a blue would look really good, like one of those, and then make the size much higher and the range much higher, and then bring this down a bit. Right, so we'll keep that, and then you can always mess with the opacity as well. Like if you have a really nice like color, like I do, this color is very nice. I want it to be there, but as you can see, it's kind of washed out right here. It's kind of washed out right there. So messing with the size, messing with the range. I don't know. I don't really know what jitter does. It doesn't really do anything. So I just always keep that at 0. I don't know. If you guys know, if you guys are Photoshop buffs and you can tell me what the jitter actually does, please let me know, because I have no clue what the jitter does. Right. So we have the jitter at 0. Let's mess with this just to make sure it looks good. We're gonna go ahead and puff out our dude here. Let me see. Hold on. We go ahead and cancel. There we go. So now we have our dude right there. Let's see. You can tab. Let me pull this off to the side. Damn it. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and look at him nice and small like. What we want is to have a nice glow without it interrupting the rest. See, right here, if I was to turn off this outer glow, that would just return to its nice natural purple. But with the glow, it accentuates those colors, but also kind of blows it out. And that's not what we want. It kind of looks ugly, doesn't look like we tried very much. So what we're going to do is either we're going to try and figure out how to make this color work, this vivid light color, or maybe we'll pick another color all together to have as our background, right? So here we are going with this outer glow. Let's see if changing the opacity works. It kind of works, but we do have to bring it down a lot, and we lose a lot of what we're trying to go for. So let's bump that back up and maybe bring this down. Let's see. Now see, we're losing it. Okay, so maybe let's go ahead and try a different color. Let's go ahead and let's do that color. That's like a white, right? Okay. Ooh, this dark green is looking real nice, actually. Let's see. That's not what we want. Okay. Let's see how it looks in the whole thing. Yeah, see, I don't know about that. Let's maybe drop this opacity. I actually think that looks really nice right there. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, so now with this thumbnail right here, this is a good thumbnail. We could definitely take this into, you know, a video, make it the thumbnail for an actual video. But we also, now at this point, we want to do like some final touches, right? Really make everything just come together, right? So we have some good pieces here. We have the character that we have PNG'd, then we have the letters that are really nice and they pop off the background, but everything kind of looks basic, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to mess with the background colors and make sure that everything is looking real nice. So what I like to do is I like to add an inner glow, right? As you can see right there, it gives everything a nice outline and already is making it pop a little bit more. So what I like to do is increase the size just a little bit so that it gives everything a nice little border. As you can see right there, like that already made it look so much better. You can also change the color of this. I kind of like this color right here, but we can go ahead and like make it green or blue or purple. I kind of like keeping it this muted kind of yellow. It really does add like a glass kind of effect to it. It looks really nice right there already. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. And what we're going to do now, put another layer above the background so that we can add like some brushes, right? So we're going to get some brushes and we're going to use some brushes on this, you know, thumbnail that we got going on. Now, if you guys need brushes, right, I have a lot of brushes. If you guys need brushes, there's a billion places you can get Photoshop brushes or brushes in general. You can like add to your stuff and really elevate your brush game, right? So I have all of these textures right here. I have all these random shapes, and as you go down, I have all these like explosions. You know what I'm saying? They just add a lot to your thumbnails, right? So if we go down here, I have some lens flares. Let's just pick on one of these and show you guys what I'm talking about. As you can see, it adds like some bubbling effects and everything like that. And if you want to just fill everything in, boom, you can just hold this down. But that is not what we want. We want to make sure that everything looks nice, right? So if we put that there, that actually kind of does look nice because it's got like these bubbles right here. These bubbles right here that you can see, and it just is kind of adding more to the background, but you kind of lose this part of the background as well. So we're going to go ahead and Control Z there, and we're going to try and find a really nice kind of brush for this. Let's try this right here. Let's see what this does. Yeah, see, that's more of a texture, and we would have to change this to overlay for that. Yeah, see, Control Z. I'm not into that at all. But yeah, you can just mess around with textures and mess around with brushes. You know, if you need brushes, go to brusheasy.com or something like that. And you can find a bunch of brushes. Let's try this. This is an interesting one. Control Z. Let's make this normal and put it up here so I can see what's going on. Oh, this is like a camera. Okay, that's interesting. It's not really, you know, my thing, but, you know, for some thumbnails it would work. Come on, baby, load. Alright, I do really like using these, like, geometric shapes and everything like that. Let's try this one. This will give a nice kind of background right there. I do really like that. Like, it's like a paint splatter, which is perfect, and it adds just enough to pick everything off the background, right? So now that we have those paint splatters, let's go ahead and color overlay, right? And even just that is really nice. But we don't want it to be like that. We want it to be like that. Outer glow. I don't know. Whoa. Nah. We'll just turn that off, right? And then maybe we'll do gradient overlay and make it like a rainbow. I like that. I like that right there. That looks really nice, and it is, you know, drawing everything together, which is perfect. And as you can see, this finished product is definitely something that you can throw on a video. It's very high quality. It looks really nice, you know what I'm saying? If you have a watermark, go ahead and put your watermark on there, which I'm going to do now. And there we go. We have a completed thumbnail with a watermark, a nice character, some good letters, and everything is looking really, really good in this. This is something that I would put on any video that I would ever make, you know what I'm saying? I would put it on, and it would just make the video look really, really nice. So maybe we should drop the opacity of this. Let me see. Control T real quick. Make sure that is straight up and down, right? Let me see. Put this up in the top left corner, and then bring the opacity to like, there we go. That looks nice right there. That's a little kind of, maybe like there. And opacity and everything like that you can mess around with as well. You know, we might actually have to extend this a bit so that it looks better, which that does actually make it look much better. Control A, Control C, there we go. And boom, we'll get rid of that. And now we have a nice completed thumbnail. Everything looks good, and I would go ahead and use this as a thumbnail for any one of my videos. So what we're going to do now, you know, is we're going to go ahead and save this for your YouTube video, right? So you're going to go to File. You're going to go to Save for Web, which is Alt-Shift-Control-S. I don't know if you ever want to use the hotkeys, but Save for Web is what I like to do. And you're going to pull this over. And what I like to do in this moment right here is I like to go ahead and make it very small so that I can see what it looks like on a YouTube, you know, like area, right? So if I wanted to go ahead and see what it looked like tiny, I could then put it, you know, that's what it's going to look like on my YouTube video. If I want to, you know, it looks really good small, so boom, I'm ready to go. So what I want to do here, right, is make sure that this is not over 2 megabytes, right, because it won't accept a thumbnail over 2. I'd say if it's under 150, you're good. If it's under 170, you might have a problem, but most of the time it works. I like to put it at maximum compression quality, which is right, and then the quality at 100%, optimized, which is very good. And you always want it to be on JPEG. If it's a PNG, sometimes it'll take it as a thumbnail, but most of the time it will not. So I would just go ahead and do a standard JPEG, right? So now we're going to go ahead and save this, and I could call it video thumbnail and save it into this folder, but we're just going to save it onto the desktop, and I'm going to call it tutorial tutorial video thumbnail, right? Boom, there we go. Now go ahead and save it. check on the desktop, which it's right there. It just popped up, and boom, there we go. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy this video and my thoughts on how to make a, good looking thumbnail, then make sure you're leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, sharing this with your friends who might also not know how to make a thumbnail. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great and fantastic day. Make sure you're leaving a comment and stay cool.